Oh my goodness.
Time's up. Let's do this.
We're in for a wild night.
Welcome, everybody, to episode 125 of Born to be Wild, a Wild exclusive Hearthstone podcast where we have fun hanging out with friends, talking about the Wild format of Hearthstone and spotlighting members of the Wild community. I'm your host, as always, Nate Wolf. It is great to be back on another Friday evening here, joining you from Portland, Oregon. I'm like deliriously tired. I've gotten very little sleep during the week, but in particular, last night I've been up working on a thing at night, which will soon be over. But if I'm laughing a lot for no reason, that's why. But I'm happy to be back. I'm happy to be here with friends tonight. It's been a long week at work, and so I'm always looking forward to Fridays. It's been a kind of a long week for me, and so with a couple more interesting days ahead of me. But now we podcast, so it's great to see y'all. Welcome back, Hydra. How are you?
I'm doing great. Glad to be back on this rainy Vancouver day. Rainy? Yeah, I know I'm not that far from you, but today's been a rainy day, so I think that means it's time for it just to be rainy for the next 6 months.
Right.
Oh yeah.
I was gonna say I was really sad. So for those of you listening, we had a new news intro last week, and Hydra and I spent some time over the past week attempting to co-op this horror game, one of the Dark Pictures anthology games, and could not get it to work, and instead ended up playing on the auto-tune, voice, whatever it's called, voice mod,
yeah,
for about 2 hours.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm disappointed.
Oh yeah,
I'm disappointed because I was aiming for a musical intro this week, but I need to tweak the settings a little bit. But we were like a couple of 10-year-olds for about 2 hours there. It was great.
Yeah, instead of actually making something, we were trying every single sound on the soundboard. And there's a lot.
There's like 200.
That's research.
It's
we were giggling, acting like idiots.
It was great. We were singing, and we were singing a lot of things in different voices and talking like ogres and demons and like in a cave. And but the auto tune is my favorite. It's just so great.
So was your face.
Oh. Anyways, we did some co-op of The Forest, and that was kind of fun. But we might have to like recruit some people to get a larger group going, because that was pretty fun though.
It's a really fun game. I've never made it super far into it, but doing it with a group I feel like would be a lot better than doing it solo. It's a fun experience, you know, when the cannibal people come to try to eat you.
I'd rather have
somebody else around when that happens.
Yeah, that would be preferred.
Oh my.
Yeah, but I'm super happy to be here. It's gonna be a great show. Love seeing you guys every single Friday night.
Oh.
Yeah. And Sheep.
Welcome back,
Sheep.
Yay. Sheep, how are you?
Hello. It is me. I am good. How are you? Yeah, buddy. I've been playing a lot of Hearthstone myself. It's been a blast playing actually a little bit more standard, prepping for THL stuff and things. And if I continue going the way that I've been going, my standard rank will be better than my wild rank, which would be pretty, well, wild in and of itself.
You were like dangerously close to 11x range in standard, which is amazing.
Yeah, I'm at like 1.6k right now in standard. So I'm at like 1.1, 1.2k in wild. So here's the thing. I like to have fun when I play Hearthstone, right?
Mm-hmm.
What's that?
That's not always the most competitive thing, is what that is. And so since I've mostly been playing, like practicing like the good decks for THL stuff and standard, I've just been doing that with my limited time. And then whenever I've been playing wild, I've been playing like whatever I feel like, which has been like really liberating and great. So since I've just been like practicing like the good decks and standard, that rank has been going like just up. And then I've been winning in wild too. Like, you know, I've had like, you know, good win rate, but it's been, with some things like been trying aggro druid again. It's still not good in this meta.
I mean, you're sitting in legend.
One day.
I mean, you're doing great. So.
Oh yeah, thank you. But I like to experiment. Like I like to try things out once I get there. And yeah, so practicing the competitive things. Well, I've been doing well with it. So,
very good. Very good.
Yeah, that has been a blast.
Oh,
so,
sorry.
yes.
I know you're about to transition, but I'm going to interrupt you because I want to celebrate Hydralisk super quick because
yes,
that when I know I think we had it like in the news section. We're talking about weeks, right? Like,
yeah,
this is an absolutely absurd win rate, and I just was like, oh my gosh, Hydra, this was something else.
Oh yeah.
Well, so basically what happened is I've been ignoring Asia for a while because, as Blue Train knows, there was some connection issues. If you're trying to play in Canada, it just wasn't working well. You're dropping games all the time, so I left it. And I hadn't touched it in a couple months, so I'd lost a significant amount of my bonus stars. And this expansion, I was thinking, screw it, I still don't care about ranking up, but I want to collect the cards. Going into the expansion, I had 0 gold, right? Like I didn't get any gold from last expansion. So I had to just, start all over again. So I'm doing my quests over and over and over and over. But then I kept winning while I was doing my quests. So I'm like, well, I'll keep playing. But I ran out of bonus stars at gold 5 because I only had the 5-star bonus, right? And I ended up thinking, oh, let's just keep playing. When I stop losing, I'll stop playing then. But then I made it into platinum without losing at all, with no stars. Okay, let's keep playing some more. And I made it into plat 5, still not losing at all. I didn't end up losing till plat 1, and that was a 27-1 record to get to platinum 1. 27-1.
I remember seeing the chats come through because you you weren't checking it first, and then you had won the 11 in a row, and was like, oh, am I gonna get the 12 game streak? Oh no, I shouldn't jinx it. And then I
forgot that's how it's. Yeah, that's how it started.
Winning.
I wanted the 12. Yeah, thank you for reminding me of that. I wanted the 12 win in a row achievement, and I was at 11, and I was so scared I was jinxing it by telling anybody that I was at 11, but I was too stoked. Turns out I went 27-1, so 26 in a row before I lost.
And this is with
it was Pirate Swordfish Rogue.
Beige.
And I ended up I didn't take a screenshot of what I was in the very end, but it depleted. So I think the game kind of figured out maybe it should match me up against harder people. And so once I was in diamond, it got harder. So it dropped to an 85% win rate. I was at 40-7 by the time I was at D5. So it dropped a little, but still, I think 40-7 still pretty decent. And then I sailed up to diamond 2 3 stars by the end of my climb that day. And it was just from gold 5, no stars, like 0 stars, no star bonus, nothing, up to diamond 2, just 1 star at a time was kind of, well, I guess 2 because you get the win streak, but I mean, not after D5.
If you can continue your win streak, were you able to? That's the joke, clearly. Yeah, you had 27 in a row.
yeah. But once I was especially up at Diamond 2, I played more, and then it went a little more 50-50 at that point, the closer I got to Legend. And it was win 1, lose 1, win 1, lose 1, lose 2, win 3. And it was back and forth at that point. So kind of like where I'm supposed to be. Yeah. But it was a really fun day. When you win that much. And the funny thing is, when I got that 27-1, when I got that 1 loss, I was disappointed.
You were so upset, like, oh, my win streak.
Like, I lost it. Like, this really is crap. Yeah, I was so disappointed.
A tale of terrible tragedy.
Well, actually, because I think it was, I believe that 1 loss was the final boss at Plat 1, whatever, to get into Diamond. And when you lose the win streak, it sucks, right?
Yeah.
And so I was like, really?
Well,
That's when I lose the game.
Especially when you like run out of bonus stars too.
Yeah, I didn't have any. I mean, since Gold 5 anyway.
Wow. Well,
but
what an achievement though. That's quite a record there. I'm very impressed.
And you know what? Almost every deck I played was a Renathal deck against. Like everybody was running Renathal in Asia. Everybody.
You know what? There were aggro punishes greed. There you heard it.
Yeah. So, thank you.
Wiser words have never been spoken.
Yeah.
So, for those of you joining us for the first time, welcome aboard. Let me briefly explain how the show works. We record this podcast live every Friday evening at twitch.tv/borntobewildhs. And the video version of this podcast is then posted to YouTube shortly thereafter. Audio versions are also distributed to all of the podcast apps. So, however you're watching, listening, or absorbing via osmosis this podcast today, thank you. Yes, you.
All right. And before we get into the main topic of the show, I also wanted to say a big thank you to Shokunin, the executive producer of our show, and also to our patrons. Thank you so much for your support. It helps quite a bit, and we really do appreciate it. If you are interested in supporting the show, or if you enjoy this content, please like, subscribe, and comment on this video on YouTube when it comes out, or any of our other stuff on YouTube. It helps other people to find us. Same thing, another simple way to support the show is to leave a review or comment on iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcasts, or your podcast platform of choice. And finally, if you're somebody who's watching or that uses Twitch, we do have some emotes that you can unlock, some for free by following, some that you can get by subscribing, which is free if you use Amazon Prime. And lastly, we do have some merch if you're interested at all. Some pretty cool designs up on the merch shop. You can find it all on our website. It's borntobewildhs.com. Again, borntobewildhs.com. If you are interested in interacting with any of us personally, we do have a Discord server. The link to that is also on our website. It's free. It's a cool online community. Hang out with people. Share deck lists. We share screenshots. Funny usernames. Always my favorite channel over there. And just hanging out with people. It's been fun. A neat little forum thing popped up last week, and is kind of enjoying using that to talk about non-Hearthstone things and some Hearthstone things. And yeah, it's been interesting, and we always enjoy hanging out with everybody. So if you're interested, yeah, please check us out online, borntobewildhs.com. All right, that's it. Oh, I get to do the thing. If I can find the button.
Welcome to the news. The news is so good.
It is good because we have a mini set.
Dude.
Hooray!
Yeah, Maw and Disorder. I bet Nate would like that one, hey?
It's
Ma?
This one's gonna speak to you.
This is so. I've had such a blast between being like deliriously sleepy and all the bad like lawyer pun jokes. It's been so funny, and yeah, there's a few cards that they've revealed so far, and they're wonderful.
Sorry, your face.
Quick little description from Blizzard is: after the murder at Castle Nathria, Sylvanas has been brought before the jailer to answer for her crimes. What crimes, do you ask? Well, there have been many. Watch the trial unfold in the all-new Maw and Disorder mini set. So yeah, trial. That you're used to that, right, Nate?
Oh yeah.
And how?
And so it launches on September 27th, and it's we've had these mini sets before. It's 35 new cards, 4 legendary cards, 1 epic, 14 rares, 16 commons. You can buy the whole thing with gold or money or rune stones when it launches.
Yeah. We've just found out about it, and it's like Tuesday. So
Yep.
There you go.
So this time next week, we will have already seen all of the rest of the cards, which haven't even been announced yet, and played with it by that point. So
Yeah.
excitement abounds.
I wanted to
Comes
share
out on the 27th.
Yeah. I'm so excited that there's not going to be like a long delayed wait, that it's coming out. I wanted to share a couple of things. Blizzard has been doing some fun things This afternoon they did an AMA. I haven't read through it all yet because it was like it just ended. But how Dean, I think they're like picking up the torch where Dean left off. But the good news is it wasn't just one person doing it. It's like the whole team. It was right.
And in case you've been living under a rock, Ixar is gone. Is leaving.
Big sad.
In case you didn't hear us say that before or hear it anywhere else. Yeah.
But yeah, so it was Matt London and Celestalon, and Cora and a few other people. I don't remember off the top of my head, but yeah.
I mean, I appreciate that they're going to try to continue doing that because he did that solo.
He did.
Or you never know. Maybe there's like a team of 5 people around him helping him answer the questions. But
all right, let me see if this works. I have oh yeah, here we go. This is fun. So they did a couple of like fun news announcements. Like they're treating it like court TV, which is really fun. And so up on the screen here is just it's a screenshot or a screen share of Twitter. But this is Nick Dektech from Hearthstone. Was a friend of ours. It now works for Hearthstone. But here's this video. It's really fun.
Day 1 of the Sylvanas Windrunner trial saw prosecutor Meltranix state the case against the Banshee Queen. She was accused of theft, arson, and murder. Courtroom observers reported that Meltranix's blistering arguments left the defense with few options, though you have to think the insanity defense is still on the table. Who will represent Sylvanas? News at 10 a.m. Pacific on the official Play Hearthstone Twitter account. Day 1 of the Sylvanas Windrunner.
It's on auto repeat. And then I have to show you because there's a fun someone named Chase Bunker did a spoof news report as well. He said, since Play Hearthstone decided to do a spoof news report, I decided to make one of my own since I'm a news anchor. I'm here if you need me for the next expansion. And his is absolutely great. It's 30 seconds long. So I'm just going to play it. It's wonderful, though.
Good evening, I'm Chase Bunker. We interrupt your scrolling to bring you some breaking news. Sylvanas Windrunner, the former war chief for the Horde, has been arrested. While we don't know the charges the Banshee Queen is facing, we do know she will go to trial tomorrow. Now, I spoke with Murloc Holmes on the matter, to which he said, I apologize for his coarse language. Make sure you follow Play Hearthstone's Twitter feed for updates on the trial. In Azeroth's Breaking News Center, I'm Chase Bunker reminding you to never rope on turn 1.
That
was perfect.
So good, right?
Can I start following? Give me a link to that guy's Twitter.
Right. Here's the link. I'll put it in chat, and I'll put it in our group chat over here too. It was really impressive. Yeah. It's fantastic. I was like, what? You can tell this guy's a pro. I love it because Murloc Holmes' impression was spot on too.
That is amazing.
You're gonna have to Murgle out Murloc Holmes' quote though because of that coarse language.
Yeah, you can't be talking like that on this show. It's a family show. So we have a few cards with a whole bunch of legal jokes, which I think are wonderful. So yeah, here we go. Demon Hunter Legendary Prosecutor Meltranix. Legendary 4-mana 2/6 Demon Battlecry. Your opponent can only play their left and rightmost cards on their next turn. I like it. I like it. You know,
as an aggro druid main, I really like it.
Oh, that's funny. It's an interesting card for me because I feel like it's disruption without being like terrible. Like you could drop it on 4 and it's fine.
Yeah.
It's not. It's disruption without being like the nasty, gross type of disruption, but it still seems good and it's a demon. I don't know. It's a battle cry. I want to play this in Shudderwalk Shaman. But
oh, that would be epic. I really like how, kind of like you were saying, it's disruption, but like the earlier you play it, the more disruptive it is, which I think is really cool.
Mess up your curve.
Yeah. Because, if you've been holding a card in your hand, odds are you just can't play it yet. So that's the one that's on the left. And then you're top decking from the right. I just, the flavor's great. The prosecution element is awesome. Yes.
It's pretty funny. And there's actually let me do the little screenshot over here, but Ben posted the flavor text on it, and it's a nod to Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney, if anyone is familiar with that. Which is
Objection.
I meant to add that to the soundboard and then I forgot to. I'll try to have it ready for next week's episode. But so the flavor text on the card.
Sustained.
Love it. So the flavor text on the card says, "Your Honor, the defense isn't a clown, he's the whole circus." And Ben says, "Now that's a put down." This is a direct nod to Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney, where the prosecutor Miles Edwards has that famous quote that is now in memes everywhere that says, "You were not a clown, you were the entire circus." And that's that's what it's from.
Yeah.
And if you look at the character, they have the same ruffled tie thing, and the color of the wings is the same as Miles' sports coat. It's great.
If anyone has not played Phoenix Wright, just play it. It's great.
You know what? You can get it for the computer now too. You can get the trilogy, and it's like $20 on Steam or something for 3 games.
That's where I was playing it. Was on Steam.
I played them all on Game Boy when they first came out. They're so good. Anyways, objection. All right. Well, all right. Let's look at the other cards because we've seen some release. They started dropping quite a bit of them. Okay, so here's a druid card called Due Process. DEW. Due Process. 2 mana nature spell. For the rest of the game, players draw an extra card at the start of their turn. What
for
now?
The rest of the game.
That's a card.
That is definitely a card.
Interesting.
I mean,
I guess mill some people.
I guess it benefits your opponent, but I like this card. That's kind of fun. They're really starting to experiment with these for the rest of the game aura effect cards.
Yeah. Particularly in Druid too. Topior is a big one, but of course Shipwright and Wild, we see that much more prolifically. Definitely like that trend. You're investing the mana now and you reap the benefit for the rest of the game. Due Process, like you were saying, also does benefit your opponent though, so definitely wanna time that well.
I'm gonna try really hard to not do a legal symposium tonight, but this is very much
but you can give the best insight to all the jokes that are in these cards, so I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know where to start. I could talk for 2 hours about Due Process. But we put together a presentation on it at work a while back actually, and it's a neat thing. Anyways, this is a fun card. There's a couple.
Is the prosecutor going to have? Well, the prosecutor wouldn't be the one that would do it, but are they going to have to read us our Miranda rights?
I wonder. I'm really anxious to see more. It looks like we're getting a new mechanic is not the right word, but there's a new type of card called they're called accusations, kind of like in Clue. Okay, so here's some priest cards. I've got Theft Accusation. That is a 1-mana shadow spell. Choose a minion, destroy it after you play a card copied from the opponent. Okay.
Flavorful.
Yeah. All right, and then there's a 4-mana 2/6 dragon, Taunt, Death Rattle. Copy a random card from your opponent's hand. Okay. Some of these, they fit the theme of this recent Renathal Reno Shadow Thief Priest type of thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of stealing. I mean, 1 mana kill something, and that one's pretty cool.
Yeah, I love the art on it too.
All right. So here's what is the due process clause? The due process is part of the 14th Amendment, and it due process clause prohibits government from taking any action that would leave a person or deprive a person of life, liberty, or property without due process of law. And so it's you can't just get arrested and sit in jail without having your day in court. There's the short version.
Hopefully I feel smarter.
Hopefully that helps Goliath. All right, Clear Conscience, 3-mana common spell. Give a friendly minion +2/+3, and quote, only you can target this with spells and hero powers. Interesting.
Yeah. So it's just not targetable for your opponent, but you can still buff it. You can still heal it up with your hero power, all that jazz.
I remember when, this card, I mean, it's only +2/+3. I will say that Inner Fire Priest is coming back with some of the new cards. I wonder if this goes in just because, not that it's that great, but that it makes it untargetable.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, I remember when like the untargetable cards, every once in a while they have one come out that like that pony one or whatever. There's a horse that says, and like when I first saw it, I was like, oh, this is cool. And then nobody played it. So
because the stats were so bad for the mana cost.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious. Like the card doesn't seem that great to me, but I kind of feel like with Interfire Priest, you have to kind of go all in with the minions. Like you need a minion to stick so that you can do the thing. And this would make it so
a lot harder.
They could run their minions into it, but they couldn't target
or
spells
have
or
a
powers. So
spellbreaker kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean you can still do. You could still do like aura effect things,
minion,
like mass hysteria or twisting nether or that type of thing. But
so where Clear Conscience clearly fits in standard is a deck called Bless Priest. So it's basically the Divine Spirit Interfire that we're used to. But one of the things that Bless Priest runs is Boon of the Ascendant, I think is what it's called. So it buffs the minion and then gives it makes a copy of it with taunt. Well, not a copy of it, like copies the stats to a new minion with taunt. So Clear Conscience, I think, what it wants to do is basically continue to do that thing. But then you're putting, the Clear Conscious minion behind a big old taunt that you are still buffing all of the stuff there for. So, or maybe you play Clear Conscience on the Boon token in air quotes because it's huge. So that's where the dev time went whenever you're looking at like standard. We have Interfire Priest though, so this could very easily fit there for us.
Yeah,
I could see it being really annoying.
Yeah, 3 mana is not that bad. I'm curious. I think it could see some play, and I wouldn't be surprised if I don't know about the theft accusation, but maybe this dragon like plops into the current Reno Priest. I don't know. Doesn't seem bad. All right, Rogue. Here we go.
Rogue.
The first card up is called Scribblingstenographer. 6 mana, 4/4 with rush. Costs 1 less for each card you've played this turn. Stenographer is a court reporter. Stenographer is like you're taking down the record verbatim. They use them in like felony cases and stuff. So it's kind of funny. So the artwork, there's like this big long scroll, and the gnome is like, scribbling,
furiously scrolling.
Right? That's kind of fun.
And sweating, it looks like.
Yes.
Okay, so it has rush, costs 1 less for each card you've played this turn. It's interesting. I suppose it could go in this like current Miracle Rogue, but I don't know that we have room for it or we really want it. But if I saw it going anywhere, that's probably where I'd see, because like it fits well with the graveyard. That
free 4/4s.
Yeah, that like builds
free things are nice.
Builds a big ghost for as many cards as you've played that turn. So maybe.
Yeah, I think that's probably where it was kind of designed to go. That the way that we've been using that deck, we run so few minions, right? Because we definitely want to actively tutor specific ones. So I do think that you're right that that's what it was kind of tailored towards. I think that it probably doesn't make the cut whenever we're actually building it, though.
Yeah.
Just because, like, I mean, the free 4/4 is great. The free 4/4 with rush is great. But if you're actively trying to tutor other things, and then this kind of ends up clogging your hand, it won't end up being what you're going for. So definitely agree that was the niche that they were aiming for, but I don't know that it makes the cut.
Yeah, I don't know. It feels a little expensive to me, although like it might be 0 in some cases. Again, these are designed primarily with standard in mind, although the devs are looking at wild more and more, as
definitely
at least as to not break the game. And I know a handful of the current ones like actually play the mode, which is great. Okay, the next one up is called Murder Accusation. So another accusation card. This reminds me of Clue. It says choose. It's two mana common spell. Choose a minion. Destroy it after another enemy minion dies. Like, okay.
It makes them think how to order their trades at this point.
I guess.
I see you've got this chonky minion. I'm going to kill your 1/1 and
Yeah.
boom, all of a sudden your chonker's dead too.
Yeah. I could see it being really annoying when your stuff starts dying for 2 mana. It's conditional, but it doesn't seem very difficult to achieve. So
Agreed.
And then the last one here is called Perjury. 2 mana common spell. It's a secret. When your turn starts, discover and cast a secret from another class. So that's interesting. So you would play it this turn, and then next turn you would then discover a secret, and then it casts right away.
That's so weird that that's a secret.
It's right, like
because no one has to trigger it. It's just on your next turn it happens. Like those cards that you summon the 3/4 that freezes every turn. It seems more like one of those, like just a spell instead of a secret to me.
It reminds me of the Demon Hunter. What do they call them? Not relics. You know what I'm talking about? The ones that trigger at the start of your next turn.
Oh, yeah.
Whatever, because
a little lightning bolt symbol above your head.
Yeah, because they're delayed a turn. Like this is how that reads, anyways. When you're
sigil, I'm kind of thinking that's why it's called Perjury too. And yeah, sigils are what that's called. So
here's another
of course,
legal
Perjury.
Card, right? Yeah, Perjury is lying under oath. So
you're saying, hey, here's a secret, but actually it's not a secret. The reality is something else. And so the other thing is
very tricky.
Also a secret. Funny enough, but
and it's another class's secret. That's kind of funny.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll add it into
perjury, which means they've lied. It's not a secret. They have committed perjury. Oh.
So I love the flavor of perjury, and it's one we haven't seen something quite like that before. I think that's really clever. Maybe we can actually play some Secret Rogue in our format.
I want a Shadow Jeweler Hanar deck so bad.
Right?
Maybe one day. It's great.
I mean, you could play it.
Well, yeah.
And Rogue secrets are even in case you want to play Gin Greymane.
Oh, yeah, there we go. It's discover secret. When your turn starts, discover and cast a secret from another class.
If you click on the card, it'll make it bigger for you.
So
on
the way
page.
Yeah. The way that other rogue items where they discover a secret from another class work, and so I'm assuming that this is how perjury will work as well, is that, it looks at the each one of the discover options are one of the other secret classes, right? So again, I don't know, this is an assumption, but one paladin, one hunter, and one mage option whenever you're discovering. So that would track with how they've implemented this feature in other ways, like Shadow Jeweler Hanar. So I imagine that's how we'll see that here too.
Yep. All right. Shaman. Looks like we've just got one card so far. It's called Totemic Evidence. It's a 1 mana spell. Choose a basic totem and summon it. Infuse 3 totems. So summon 3 totems. Summon all 4 instead.
So infuse, of course, is not just summoning the totems, but then
3?
Those totems
have to die.
dying.
So 3 totems have to die.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
If only it costs.
While Totemic Evidence is in your hand.
I would maybe like it if it costs 2. And maybe not. I don't know.
If Wrath of Air Totem still existed.
If Wrath of Air Totem existed, this card would be bananas because you can choose the totem. This would be busted.
They always design really far in the future. Maybe that's why, Wrath of Air Totem had to go.
I guess. Yeah.
Only
I don't know. I don't know what to think about this. The idea is cute, but it doesn't work in Wild, I don't think. Unless I really wanted to make some pure totem shaman type of thing without being even, which I don't think would be good.
Yeah, you could run a eyesore, which would be pretty cool. But yeah, no.
It goes back to that conversation, right? Do we want to have fun or do we want to win? And
I forgot about that card.
Eyesore is great in even Shaman when you discover it from an amalgam.
Oh yeah.
But
yeah, I really love the art. The dude that is kind of pointing at the totem looks kind of like a Soulflame captain in Sea of Thieves. Like they have the little like chain and like a flame encapsulation, but in the arms instead of the head, like the Soulflame captain. I think it looks really cool.
Kind of reminds me of those characters from the fairy tale book.
Yeah, I was just gonna say it looks like in Stephen King's new book. Yeah, it looks exactly how they're described, basically.
I mean, pretty much, right? All right, Warlock. This is like my favorite legal pun of the set so far. Habeas Corpses. Oh my god, it's so great! It's so great. Okay. A lot of the legal terminology is based around Latin. So habeas corpus is the legal terminology. The legal definition, I think, means show me the body. But essentially what you're doing is it means like you would file...
You can't do that on Twitch.
Well, you have to be covered up. That's for sure. People file like a habeas corpus petition, like saying that they're like wrongfully imprisoned and that they should be brought before the court for the judge to decide whether they're being rightfully detained or not. And so, yeah, but habeas corpses, it's just, the pun is so good. It's so good. I think we have Deck Tech to thank for this one. Anyways, 3 mana.
I bet.
Well, he said on Twitter, I think he had a hand in a bunch of these. So
that's cool.
I love it. So, former lawyer. And I absolutely love it. So yeah, Habeas Corpses is a 3 mana rare Warlock spell. Discover a friendly minion to resurrect and give it rush. It dies at the end of the turn. Oh my gosh, is Q-Block gonna come back, please?
I was gonna say yes. Yes.
We get a resurrect in Warlock? Oh man, I might have to bring N'Zoth and Shadow Reaper Gul'dan back.
Would be so incredible. And if we get, a whole lot of Death Rattle synergies, like you were saying, Q-Block has, we could definitely throw this in, and it's just actively better because you get the Death Rattle effect. You get to trade as well because it has Rush. Yes.
Yeah. I love this. I love this.
Sounds fun to me.
I will say the only funky part of it is like stuff has to die first, so this is gonna sit in your hand for a while. But whatever. This discover a friendly minion, so you get to see 3. It's a build around, because I wouldn't want to resurrect probably like a 3/3 imp, but
right.
If I had Death Rattle stuff, it could really do some neat tricks. I like that. Okay. Next one up is Arson Accusation. Arson being unlawful burning. 2 mana spell. Choose a minion, destroy it after your hero takes damage. It is a fire spell. So choose a minion, could be yours, could be theirs. Destroy it after your hero takes damage. So they play a big old chonker, and then I tap, and it dies. Like, okay,
I'll take that.
This is 2 mana, which is even.
I think there's a deck for that.
They like to tap a lot.
This seems quite good. Well, and even in the new deck, so there's a new, I don't know how new it is, but it's kind of, we saw a meta come together in the Wild Brawliseum event, and Curse Warlock was doing really well. Mm-hmm. It's interesting to see a Warlock deck without Blood Reaver Gul'dan at the top end anymore, but it's just not really needed in that build because we have Tammy. But this fits right into that. It fits right into even Warlock for sure. This card's just good. I can't wait to see it in gold.
Oh yeah.
I don't see a downside to it. I don't see a downside to it at all. In fact, if you really wanted to, it works with that last one. You want to throw it in a Reno build or in a Q-Block build. Where you could use it anywhere. Choose a minion, destroy it after your hero takes damage, and cough. There's a new Sylvanas card, cough.
And this Arson Accusation is a fire spell too. I love everything about this. Flavor, the effect, it's great.
For you Imp Warlock enjoyers, there's a new card called Imposter.
How have we not had that name yet?
I know,
Imposter.
it seems impossible that we haven't gotten this name yet.
I think we had Implosion.
Yeah.
This is pretty good. But anyways, yeah, so Imposter, 2 mana, 1/1. Battlecry, choose a friendly imp, transform into a copy of it. This seems like crazy good to me, right? I didn't play a ton of Imp Warlock, but with the location, you can make a imp like super huge and then play this guy for 2, and it's just gonna be a copy of the dude that you just made super huge. Like, seems okay.
So I'm a little bit more hesitant on Imposter. I think it's a little bit of a bait. And that's because I think I would rather run a minion that, actually has a lot of like the payoff itself. Like Imposter seems like a little bit more of a win more card, right? Like if you're playing Imposter, it's because you already have one of those cards that you want to copy. So
sounds like this has some imperfections.
It does. So I think that the possibility is definitely there, especially because you're running the location, you're running the draw, etc. But yeah, I think at the end of the day, it's bait. Bait is delicious. So I could also definitely be wrong, but yeah, I think it's bait.
Yeah. Impertinent, impetuous, impoopy. Yeah.
It's an impoopy card.
All right, Warrior, we don't have any nothing revealed yet so far, but here's the neutrals. All right, this is the crazy card that people are talking about,
losing their minds over.
Wah! The Jailer, 10 mana. This is neutral. We're into the neutral zone now. 10 mana, 10/10. Battle Cry, destroy your deck. For the rest of the game, your minions are immune. That's a lot to take in. And I want to give a big shout out and thanks to Ridiculous Hat, who clarified, preemptively clarified for all the people who were going to have a bunch of questions. And I took a screenshot of it. It says here, to clarify immune mechanics, treat the minions like they always have Divine Shield and Stealth. So they can't be damaged, they can't be targeted by opponents, they can't taunt, they can be removed by global or non-targeted, non-damage removal. That's a mouthful, but what he means by that is Deadly Shot, Twisting Nether, something that affects the whole board, but doesn't target. I think like Mass Hysteria probably won't work because they'll attack each other, but they'll be immune. They can be frozen, not targeted, but like Avalanche or whatever could freeze them. Because it says target all.
Right.
And then there was a question also about a card like Mass Dispel. Like, yeah, it would silence the text on the cards, but this isn't like for the rest of the game aura. And so, okay, like you could silence the card, like if it had a death rattle or something, but you couldn't, the silence wouldn't make it no longer immune. What's interesting is this says destroy your deck. And so, like, all right, you're still going to be taking fatigue damage, but maybe with, like, I don't know. Somebody said Mal'Ganis, which I thought was funny. Somebody said both. And so, do I think that this card is good? No, this is, like, Omega bait, but it looks really fun, and I definitely want to try it. I see, even your cat thinks so.
Yeah.
I don't really know. But that's what people said about like Denathrius was like, oh, 10 mana. Oh, this is not going to work. And this is such an interesting effect that I mean, I can pretty much guarantee it's going to see play because people are going to want to try it. I don't know that it actually, like, yeah. If you can get down like this and Bolf and Mal'Ganis, like, rock and roll. But I don't know. What do y'all think about it?
I can't wait to play around with the Jailer. There are a few different places that, of course, mind immediately goes to. So Wolfram Shield, neutral, way to do this thing.
I heard you have a golden Bolf.
I do.
The question is, did you
By
craft
accident or on purpose?
I did not craft it. That was open from packs.
That video that you shared of the person opening up packs and they opened 5 Bolfs. It's like, what? What are the chances of that happening?
Well before duplicate protection was a thing.
That video is
Bolfs.
hilarious.
Oh my gosh. They were like raging by the end of it. It was so funny.
At first it was a bit of a joke, and then the anger set in.
Yeah. So there are another, of course, few ways that I want to try the jailer out. Mal'Ganis is the other one that you mentioned, of course. Togwaggle is one thing that I find really interesting. So I've done like a little bit of basic theory crafting with, Hemet Jungle Hunter to like basically start to get to the jailer. Basically, it just runs like a ton of armor gain. So it's, controlling, and all of those, with the exception of branching paths, are 3 or below. So Hemet destroys those. And then you've got Guff, so that you have enough mana to then later be able to Togwaggle and Azalina Soul Thief in the same turn. And then, of course, the minions that you're playing, be they yours in the jailer or others, you're able to just completely control your opponent's board with yours and not worry about anything else. So I think that that's going to be really fun. I don't think that's going to be really good, but I'm really excited about all of the different possibilities that the jailer offers, because like it's another one of those unique cards that we haven't really played around with before, has a lot of really interesting effects that I can't wait to get my hands on. So yeah, I'm excited, but I think it's bait.
That's my favorite thing about stuff like this, when they drop a card like this, because the community all comes together and starts trying to come up with ideas. How can we break this card? And then the other half goes, this card's already broken. But it's just really neat.
I think
just see all the ideas, and there's going to be lots of them, and I will try them.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Somebody said Mechathune, which I think is interesting. This has like the Hemet effect, right? Destroy your deck.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and then someone Armorn said Niru Fireblade, so you can't take fatigue damage. There's some possibilities, and I don't really know what's bait and what's not. The Warlock quest line is one, not that we can play it in Wild, but there's some possibilities. This will be fun to try anyways, and I guess we'll see what happens with it, but it's certainly interesting. I feel like anytime there's an aura for the rest of the game, it's pretty good in one way or another. This is kind of an interesting one. Like, there's not that many of them, right? So we've seen Shrubazor or whatever. Like, every time you cast a nature spell, you summon a 3/3 whelp. We've seen Lothraxian.
Stone Right.
So Lothraxian is the rest of your game. Your Silverhand recruits have Divine Shield, the Stone Right, buffs all of your totems for the rest of the game.
Yeah, so the way that Lothraxian works, it says whenever you summon new ones, which is why ones currently on the board don't get it. Whereas Stone Right just says your totems, which is why the totems that are already on the board do get that effect.
Yeah, I think Lothraxian would have been way crazy if it did it to the ones on the board too.
Oh, it would be busted.
Big agree. Yeah.
Anyways, this is interesting. So we'll have to see. It'll be fun if nothing else. And there'll be some interesting interactions in chat. Jailer with Bull Fram Shield, Jailer with Mal'Ganis, Jailer with Niru Fireblade. There's a few cards that could be interesting, so we'll have to see. New Sylvanas card. We haven't seen one of these in a while. Sylvanas the Accused, 6 mana, 5/5 legendary, battle cry, destroy an enemy minion, and then infuse 7, which is kind of a lot. Take control of it instead. But this is cool. I mean, there's some options here. So this compares to the old Sylvanas it's just a death rattle, take control of a random enemy minion. And that saw play for ages. 6 mana 5/5 is okay. Battlecry, destroy an enemy minion. Like, we were running that card in Warlock that did the same thing. I can't think of the name, but like it was Battlecry, destroy an enemy minion.
And that was much more situational too, if I recall correctly.
There was a bonus if you
draw
top
that
decked
turn, then you like deal with all of the minions. That was it. But it would still get the effect in general. Yeah.
Infuse 7 is...
That's a lot.
Well, it is.
But then it's a 6 mana mind control.
On a stick. But we've also seen cards like Sire Denathrius where you have to infuse a lot. to make the payoff worth it. And so what's interesting is you're telegraphing that when, like, if you've got a card in your hand and it's just staying there and staying there and staying there, like, you're just asking for it to get theo'd or ratted.
Yeah.
But
so what deck definitely took advantage of a lot of non-minion cards to infuse a lot, particularly with Sire Denathrius. Druid.
Yeah.
So we've got the Otters, we've got the Scales of Onyxia, we've got so many ways to quickly infuse large numbers that doesn't take a lot of effort to do. So I think that Sylvanas the Accused can kind of nicely just slot into something like a Denathrius Druid. Perhaps even a Cthulhu Denathrius Kazakhstan Druid that I brought to the Brawliseum last week.
Even the cat thought it was funny. That's great.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. She's like, what was that?
I mean, I got like, what was it? 6 wins with that. So like, that was pretty solid. And Sylvanas would have just made it even better.
This reminds me of when Blue Train put Sire Denathrius in aggro token druid, and then it worked.
Right?
you
got bees.
It's like, why not?
I mean, this is an interesting card. Hey, if there's a taunt in the way, you can either kill it or you can take control of it. Yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting card. It'll see play, I think, for sure. And Sylvanas as a character is super cool, very lore heavy. So
yeah,
it'll be fun to do a lore episode on these cards as well.
Absolutely.
All right. So you more thoughts?
I was just gonna say, I think the Sylvanas will probably see a decent amount of play in standard. I think we probably have a little bit more strictly synergistic things to do. So I don't know that we'll see it a whole lot in wild. But I mean, it's a powerful card in a vacuum, and if you get the mini set and are looking for cards to fill in, it's not a bad choice.
Yeah, and I think that you don't need to wait for this infuse to go off. It's already, like, if you get that, cool, but it's an amazing tempo card.
Yeah.
I got rid of your thing, and I now have a thing.
And I have a 5/5 on board?
Yeah, like, it's good.
Black Knight Power Creep.
Yeah, oh yeah. Sylvanas is a really cool character. This art in gold is going to be awesome. And
I'm sure there's going to be some fun voice lines.
Oh, there will be great ones. It'll be, and then we'll have our like Reno Shutterwalk Shaman enjoyers dropping this into the deck because why not?
Yeah, buddy.
All right, here's an interesting card, which I think might be bad, but it feels like ice block hate to me. Right? Called Tightlipped Witness. This is a neutral 3 mana 2/5 epic, and the text says secrets can't be revealed. And so when you're playing against like the mage and they've got the ice block up and you would kill them, but you're going to pop the block instead, like I wouldn't play this. What I would do is like, I mean, I wouldn't tempo it out. I would wait until like I'm going to get lethal, and then you play this and you just kill them and their ice block doesn't pop. So secrets can't be revealed means they can't trigger. The interesting piece, and I don't know the answer to this, someone asked how it worked with explosive runes, which says when you play it, it deals 6 damage to the minion. I don't think it would work. It just depends which one takes priority. But if this says secrets can't be revealed, like it would just not be revealed.
So I believe that explosive runes would not go off, specifically because the way that it reads is after your opponent plays a minion.
Oh.
So since it's after and not whenever you play the Tightlipped Witness, the effect is on board after you've played it, then it can't be revealed. So the explosive runes would not in fact proc.
Makes sense.
But things don't always work out the way they're worded.
That's true. But the after and whenever has been pretty consistently working.
Yeah. I hope it works that way. And it's 3 mana. So what is Eater Secrets? Like 5 mana, right?
I think 4.
Or is it 4? It's cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it could be a better option, but depending on the meta, like we've seen people throw Eater into their decks. People say it's bad tech. Some people say it's good tech, but it doesn't stay in anyone's deck for very long. I mean, if they're got some pocket meta where they're versing lots of secrets, higher legend, then it stuff like that's seen good play. But if you're just normally climbing the ladder and you got that in there just because you don't like mages, it's probably not the best card to have in general. Not this one, but any secret tech taking up a slot in your deck on just a regular climb isn't normally the best thing to do.
That said, I'm going to slot it into most decks. I just dislike playing against the quest mage in particular because I typically beat him down and I can't finish the job because of ice block. So Tightlipped Witness, be my savior.
Interesting card. All right. Here is another one called Afterlife Attendant. This looks like the those cards. Goliath, what are they called? Anyways, that are part of the new Demon Hunter Relic synergies. I don't remember what the race is called, but artwork is really cool. Afterlife Attendant, 3 mana, 3/4. Your infuse cards also infuse while in your deck. Interesting.
Ooh. This makes Sylvanas even better.
Yeah, but this has to be on board when that happens, right? So, but that being said, like, okay, Sylvanas, okay, Denathrius, and like whatever else. I mean, all the relic, like some of the
Devour.
There's
that's a big one.
Oh gosh, yeah.
And it's decently statted with more health than attack, which is nice because it's not as easy just to kill off right away. So hopefully it'll stick a little longer.
It's a spider tank, and the effect seems pretty strong. Yeah, too bad it wasn't for the rest of the game. If it was for the rest of the game, that'd be crazy. Oh my gosh. If it was for the rest of the game, like this would just start going in like all the decks, right? Or at least, well, Druid, but it seems good.
Any infused deck for sure.
Right. Token Demon Hunter, spicy, yeah. Okay, this is the last card I think that we've seen. And this is definitely gonna make some people rage. Battle Cry. So it's called Soul Seeker, 5 mana, 3/3. Battle Cry. Swap this with a random minion from your opponent's deck. Wow. Okay.
If you want to kill Big Priest, this is how you do it.
Oh boy!
This is how
if you're playing Shudderwalk Shaman, don't play this card.
No. This is more like quest mage hate, right?
True.
And it's interesting. It's just disruption. I feel like there's a couple of decks now are like Reno Priests, some Warlock cards, Druid. They're like turning into all these tech cards, especially with Renathal, where you can add extra card. Like this is disruption, like crazy disruption.
And then you can do it to somebody, and then they can do it back to you because you gave them this. You guys can go back and forth.
I don't. It's so. What it reminds me of though is, well, the variability is going to be super funky. It's going to high roll sometimes. It's going to low roll sometimes. You could get like a 1/1 out of it. You could also get like, their Denathrius or Onyxia or whatever with it. And it's kind of random.
Or any colossal minion too.
It could, it could be if decks are playing good cards and this plays one of those. It's just going to low roll sometimes, but this is probably going to see a lot of play if I had to guess. Disruption, I feel like, especially in Standard, has been the name of the game for a little while with Theotar and the fish dude, whatever he's called. Why can't I think of the name?
The starfish?
No. The one, the 4-mana and you choose whether to counter the next spell or minion. Okani?
Oh, Okani.
Yeah.
Okani.
Yeah.
And so there's like just a lot of disruption going on, and then you add, so we're playing both of those in Wild now, and Loatheb, and Dirty Rat, and so like it's just another one.
Another one.
Yep. It's interesting. I don't know if it's good or not, and like it can totally backfire. This will be funny when like they spend 5 mana and pull my patches, but it's going to be, rage inducing when they pay this and they get your Neptulon. So,
or your Jailer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any sort of combo deck, of course, hates this. Mechathune, Jailer, your Bullfram Shield.
That's great. Anyways, yeah, that I think that's everything that we've gotten for the mini set so far, right?
Yeah, so far. So we still do have quite a few cards yet to be revealed, and they will be revealed over the course of the weekend. And on Tuesday, the mini set itself will be live. So that is September the 27th, 2022. So we can all play it then. And we'll have some first impressions of the mini set and any wild meta first impressions this time next week.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Nate, that Soul Seeker will probably see play, because I know that you've been known to enjoy a big priest now and then, and if Soul Seeker's around,
yep,
I think you'll be punished if you try and play big priest into it.
Yeah, have to not do that. Yeah, some interesting stuff. Looking forward to it. New cards are always fun. Whether they're good or not remains to be seen, and we'll see how it goes. We have a little bit more time, and there was something interesting that popped up earlier today. But also, we can wait until Hydra gets back. But we should talk real quickly about the heroic Wild Brawliseum, because that just concluded, and that was really fun. So last week after the show, we jumped on the stream, and Sheep did a run. I did a couple of runs. We had a lot of friends doing runs, and it was really fun. I did not do very well. I had a lot of fun. My best run was 7 and 3. I only did 2 because it was expensive. My other one, so I did 7 and 3 with the Curse Warlock, and then I did a run with 4 wins with Reno Priest, and it was really fun. There was a lot of people playing a lot of really bad and weird stuff, and it was we had a lot of fun doing it though, because there was just stuff that you would have not expected to see, and it was great. We had some friends who did very well and got some 12-win runs, and that was awesome to see. It was not me, but I had a handful of friends do it, and that was cool. Sheep did really a lot better than me. 9 and 3.
Yeah,
very
I did
impressive.
9 and 3 right after our recording last week. That ended up being my best run, which was really fun, with Big Mad Warrior or Enrage Warrior.
Those games were intense too.
Right? Yeah, I love Enrage Warrior because whenever you do the things, you feel so clever, and it's oh, I just did that, and it it was so much fun. Definitely feels like you're playing on the knife's edge, but that can be really fun whenever you solve the puzzle and get there. So that was a blast. Did a few other decent runs. So the only one that I think was all of them were over 3 and 3. So I think my worst one was with Even Hunter, and that one was 4 and 3. And that's the first one that I did.
What influenced your deck building decisions there? I wanted to have fun.
No. Yeah, pretty much.
I love it. I love it. I'm not trying to razz you.
No one going to expect.
That's great.
Even Hunter. No one will expect Even Hunter. Let's go. Also, I was kind of anticipating a pretty heavy quest mage kind of interaction, and Even Hunter does pretty well into quest mage.
That's good thinking.
Did not actually see any quest mage in that particular. Oh no, I saw one, and I defeated it handily. So I felt pretty
well, very good.
Accomplished with that.
I'm proud of you for that.
Thank you. I did run into some of our friends like Blue Train. Blue Train defeated me handily, and some other big names like Jay Alexander, who I defeated in a really close game. So that was
gosh,
really fun.
Yeah, I watched the video after the VOD on that one, and it was great. It just was very, very well played, and the lethal on that one was so just I don't know what to say.
I needed 2 more damage, and I did not have it. So I had to play Olgra and hope that she went face before she traded into the minions that would kill her.
Yeah.
And she did go face first. First or second. She went face before she died, which is the key takeaway there. And so it was either going to lose or win, and Olgra, RNGesus, Yogg gave me the win there.
It's like rag shot days.
Help me find Olgra.
Oh wait, that's not the right one.
Where will the rag shot land?
Exactly.
There we go. There
Except
we
you get
go.
to
I
roll
found
more
it.
than once, basically.
Yeah. So I spent no money because I just had, a lot of gold saved up. Ended up spending a net of under 5,000 gold, and got way more than that in terms of dust and packs and. So it was a blast. Did not end up recording a 12 win run, but had so much fun on the runs that I did do, and just really, really enjoyed this Wild Brawliseum and look forward to it eventually coming back eventually.
It's really sad. We had so many friends playing it over the week, and everyone was sad when it went away. I feel like the price point was too high, but it was really cool to have a goal that is like, hey, the goal is 12 wins, as opposed to the goal is just to like win and do better and get higher on ladder. Because at a certain point, you're like, all right, well, I've done the thing, and like I don't really need to play anymore. And this is just different. I just wish that the price point wasn't so high. But gosh, I really think it was fun, and it got a lot of people playing the mode, that's for sure.
Do you think anyone's going to play more duels after it goes away? Or is it gone now?
No. I'm back to playing Battlegrounds, but
Yeah, same.
Because it's got a similar, obviously it's not the same, but it's mini version.
I don't know. I'm not really up on the duels meta. I think it's fun. And we have some friends who are very good at the format, but I don't play it all that much. I don't know. Maybe I don't know that I'm that qualified to say, but I don't know.
Every time I've played duels, I've really enjoyed myself, but there are just so many modes that it's not one of the ones that I frequent. But every time I've played it, I've had a lot of fun. I've gotten a 12 win run in duels, and so I felt like I beat the mode and could carry on.
That's great. Yeah, I don't play it like for money. I'll play it sometime. What I did learn is that your wins in duels count like wins on the ladder. And so
even casual.
Yeah. And so if you want like Demon Hunter wins, because that class is like unplayable and wild, you can play Demon Hunter in duels and get some wins that way. So there's that. We got one other piece of news that like popped up earlier today. It's a little bit of controversy, I guess you would call it. A potential pillager, I don't know if cheat is the right word for it. So Soda posted this on Twitter, and there's almost like a companion app overlay type of thing that shows like lethal combinations and does the math for Pillager Rogue. I don't understand what is happening here though. Like, it's not in English, and I can't read it, and I don't know, like in the video the person is like switching back and forth like alt tabbing or whatever. And so to me it looks like something that you could build in like Excel or Word or something. But if it reads your hand, like if it's like integrating, like you're not supposed to build mods. That seems like
if it's telling you like HS Replay deck tracker will show you like your damage or whatever, but this is, from what I've been told and can see, is telling you like the order of your cards.
Oh yeah, no, if
you're sequencing.
It
like,
says
do your turn this exact way, not just how much damage you potentially have, but how to do it as well. I think that's a little too much.
No, that's not right. I did a co-op stream a while back with Maxibon learning Pillager, and there's a lot of nuance to that deck. It's hard to play. Good people make it look easy. I saw Mountain Man do a brawl run with Pillager, getting some coaching from OTZ, who made it look really easy, but like it's not easy. And if this is telling you the sequencing based on reading your hand, like that just feels like cheating to me. There's a lot of math involved. And what I've seen before, I think it was No Hands Gamer put together like a little cheat sheet for the math back when OTK Demon Hunter was a thing, and saying, hey, here's the possible combos. If you have this and this and this, it adds up to this. And this is the order that you play them in. But if you have this, like there's several different combos depending on how much damage you need. And I don't think that there's anything wrong with that. so you know what to look for and you know the sequencing and you know how much it's going to be. This reminds me of the same thing. It's like, hey, okay, here's the order that I play it in and how much it will do. But if it's going that extra step in like reading your hand and telling you, hey, you've got lethal, play it now, and telling you what order to play it in, like, that doesn't seem right. A math chart is like fine. I don't care about that. When I watch the video, because I can't read any of this, it just shows the person like alt-tabbing back and forth. And it looks like it was showing them the order to play the cards. It was a very complex sequence because it was like coin, scabs, shadow step, swindle, scabs, potion, and like, and they kept alt tabbing back and forth. I don't know, but if the sequencing is listed out, like based on it reading your hand, it seems kind of like a no-no to me.
Yeah, I'm kind of two minds. So on the one hand, if whether it's reading your hand or not, or you know, you're having to input the cards in there, it's not really something that the devs or, you know, those kind of trying to police it can really police too well in general, because it's kind of like just an interactive strategy guide, right? Like at the end of the day, whether it's reading your hand or you're having to input it in there. I think honestly, the deck is what is the real issue there, because it's all from hand, and it's just kind of shortcutting the knowledge to get there. So, you know, you don't have to have the skill, knowledge, or foresight to like know how to get to the lethal. So on the one hand, I think that, yeah, it's a cheat that shouldn't be allowed. On the other hand, I don't know how they're supposed to, or how they could effectively police it, except for to kind of like nuke the archetype, which honestly probably should happen in general anyway. Like the video in Soda's tweet happens on turn 4, right? Like it's it's wicked early. It's a tricky lethal to find, but also if they're just like reading out how to do it, how do devs really police that except to nuke the deck, right?
Which is, see, I don't like getting killed by Pillager Rogue at all, right? But at the same time, if we have to start nuking decks because of third-party apps that are borderline cheating, that really sucks.
I agree. I do agree. On the other hand, if this third-party app is basically just like reading a strategy guide, you know, like it's like a APM or a Boar Priest back in the day, right? Like that one just had a much simpler like thought process to get there, because you're repeating the same action, right? To get to the thing. Pillager Rogue is a lot trickier because there's a lot of different branching paths that you can take. Can you tell that I play a lot of Druid?
Yeah, I was going to say you're a Druid player.
There's a lot of different branching paths that you take to actually get there. And it's not just like, okay, you get these pieces and then you just repeat the same actions over and over until your board is huge, right? So, I mean, it's essentially just an interactive strategy guide. So how can they really do that? The real issue is the non-interactivity and the like damage from hand, right? Which they've already said, specifically referring to Wild, is kind of the outlier and the danger zone, right?
Let's watch the video real quick. Let me see. I'm going to click play. Let's see here. So you see it pop up. Sorry for the audio people. There's a video on the screen right now, but so you can kind of see him like alt tabbing back and forth to see this, and I think it's like
it looks to me like they like input the card that they drew at the very beginning.
I love the voice lines. It's so great. I love hearing languages other than English.
Ta-da!
I don't know what to say because Soda said it was a calculator. The texture says tech changed our lives, and yeah, okay. It says I saw someone develop Pillager Rogue calculator. It's incredible. It's actually available on GitHub. It says Hearthstone Spectral Pillager Rogue calculator. I don't know. Well, I wish I could read this.
Google Translate on your phone.
Yeah.
Anyways,
but yeah, I don't know. Well, I guess we'll start to see if this actually goes anywhere and people start using it, if it actually works.
Like, they let you have a deck tracker, but you're not supposed to like mod the game, and so I don't know what this is. It looks kind of like an overlay. I'm not quite sure. And I don't know. I hate losing to that deck. Any like OTK deck from hand feels kind of crappy, but that's something an aggro player would say. So, you know,
I also end up like being a little grumpy when I lose to the deck, but also, unlike the quest mage that I was lamenting just a little bit ago, Pillager Rogue games are typically pretty quick. They get to it pretty quick. They're able to execute it pretty quick. They just need to, draw Exodia in order to make it happen, right? And their Exodia has a lot of branching paths to get there.
Exodia! Obliterate!
Sorry, I haven't been able to use that one in a long time.
That was perfect.
But you were ready.
I was.
Yeah. So I do think that deck and those kinds of decks, whenever they can consistently like do that early, are kind of an issue.
Well, turn 4 feels bad. Like, I get it. That's why I think like the old school Antonidas Mage and some of these other OTK decks don't feel quite as bad if it takes them until turn 10 to do the combo. But turn 4 is just nutty. Like, at that point, it's not interactive.
No, you needed to be aggro with the absolute best god draw to have won that game.
Yeah, or you have to have ratted their scabs. Like,
yeah,
I mean,
and killed it so they don't like break shadow step it or something.
Yeah. Well, I mean, interesting. And I without knowing more, like I don't feel like I could really make a judgment call. It feels a little like not good to me. But at the same time, I'm all for cheat sheets, especially when trying to learn the deck. I think that they're very useful tools. If I can say, hey, how many minions or how many cards do I need to play to get X damage, or what's the ordering? Like, what can I do to learn that? That's cool. Someone made an interesting comment on Twitter that this would be really neat if it was a tool to learn the deck, if it was kind of like a spot the lethal puzzle type that was like, or you use it after the game, but like during the game, it's just winning for you. And so it almost feels like you have to input it, but if it's telling you, it's the game genie. So,
and I guess to sort of on Sheep's argument of being, when we were talking about being for this, I was just thinking, what's the difference between this application and say me co-oping with Maxi and him telling me what to do?
Nothing.
Right.
No, I mean,
so
if they're saying like, okay, here's how you win, play this. Like, it's not you doing it anymore. It's someone telling you what to do. I don't know.
Right.
Very gray area.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll see if anyone goes to Blizzard jail over this. I guess we'll see. Anyways, I don't really know what else to say about it other than that it exists, and
we'll see if we start seeing a lot more Pillager Rogue.
It's definitely possible. Hey, before we wrap up the show, since you're here in chat, a big giant shout out to Zombies for two things. Number one, for those of you who don't know Zombies, we had him on the show recently, and it was a really fun time because we don't have guests all that often anymore. But Zombies hosts the podcast called The Fighting Pit about mercenaries. Had an awesome 12-win brawl run, which was really cool. But Zombies getting a card reveal for mercenaries, which is really, really cool. That is super awesome. I'm really excited to see that. New Mercs content is great. We're not a mercenaries podcast. I don't really want to go there, but I'm excited because they announced a method to spend all your access coins on your mercs that are not yet maxed out. And
what?
Yeah, so those like 8 bazillion carry-out coins can finally use. Zombies did a YouTube video, and I don't want to cover it, but go to Zombies Go Nom Nom on YouTube, and there's a video that kind of explains it. Next patch will have some new mercs, it sounds like, and then the following patch, like the little mini patch or whatever, I think is when they're implementing a way to spend the coins. They said it's going to be a 2-part approach. Go watch the video. But anyways, really cool, and big congrats on the card reveal. Very, very, very neat. Love seeing friends get noticed by Blizzard. Super awesome. So congrats.
Congratulations. Couldn't happen to a nicer group of folks, especially our friend zombies.
Yeah. So we were talking about taking a little hiatus, maybe, or reformatting the weekly listener challenge. Well,
you should have said this is the weekly listener challenge part first before saying we're taking a hiatus. Because I
was like, I wasn't a part of that conversation either.
Oh no! I mean, if you've got a, hey, if you
no. It sounded like we were taking a hiatus.
Oh,
like
sorry. Yeah. Oh. Unless y'all know something that I don't know. No. No, just we haven't been getting lots of like submissions and stuff lately, and I don't know.
Yeah, the listener challenge is so much more fun when a lot of people are submitting, and sometimes we get tons, sometimes we get 2, sometimes we get 0. But usually there's at least a handful. But lately it's just been lower than normal, and we thought maybe we'll give it a little bit of a rest and brainstorm some ideas for it, or maybe even another segment. We're not sure yet, but we were just gonna put that one on hold for a little while.
Yeah.
Why is that picture up on the screen?
What? For you audio listeners, Nate has pepperoni pizza on the screen.
So I put Rip in the chat here, and Sheep says rest in pepperoni. So
yes.
That's great.
I completely forgot. Yes.
Pizza challenge confirmed. Blue's like,
rest.
Why are you pizza on the screen? You're talking about the cursed pizza card back.
Rest in pepperonis.
Yeah, well.
Delicious pepperonis. Rest in them, languish in them, live in them, die in them.
I had pepperoni pizza for dinner, and it absolutely killed my stomach.
Oh no!
Like, I don't know what the heck, but
the die in them was supposed to be like a metaphor. It wasn't supposed to be like an instruction. Hydra, please live.
It's subsided a little, but I was sitting here and suddenly my stomach was cramping up. I'm like, why? Pizza good, hurt tummy, no.
So fun.
But it seemed to have disappeared for now. So let's count that as a win, hopefully.
What is that paladin secret that says get down? You know what I'm talking about?
Noble sacrifice.
Thank you.
Good
Jinx,
job.
you owe me something.
2 packs on us.
What I love is with Noble Sac, if the guy doesn't die for some reason, and then you attack with it next turn, what the attack sound is, I lived.
It's great.
I was looking for it, but I don't see it on the Hearth Sounds website.
No, I remember the first time I heard it, I was so happy.
It's so funny, right?
I lived.
It's great. Anyways, so we'll figure out something, and maybe we'll bring it back. I just it's great when we get like 10, 15, 20, like lots of people submitting stuff, and when we get just one, or sometimes we get like none the last couple weeks, and it's just not quite the same. But anyways, we'll figure it out. But
we can work it out. We can work it out.
So I did want to ask you guys a question, though.
Unrelated advice. with Nate Wolf.
Hypothetically speaking, if someone were like going out of town for a second job interview, do you have any advice for them as to not like mess it up?
Don't be so nervous you get drunk the night before and you're hungover for it.
Don't think that's a problem.
Though that is very good advice. Don't show up naked. Definitely look good, feel good, and you know, interview good. Also, definitely know the entity, know kind of what you're talking about there, and mostly job interview is like a date, right? Like if you've already, you know, had the first interview, you've already gone on the first date, they've asked you back for a second date. That's great. But dates go both ways. You also are evaluating them. So definitely keep your eyes open, keep your ears open, both to be able to ask, you know, informed questions and being, you know, participatory like that. But also, I mean, you hold the pen too. So find if that's something, if that's a team, if that's a place, if that's a, you know, position that you would want to be in, as well as whether they would want to hire you there as well. So definitely take that agency in it.
I fully agree with that, because whenever I've interviewed people and there's people there that are just kind of answering my questions, they're not as interesting as the people that are also asking me questions. It's actually showing this real, true interest and passion for that position, other than just sitting there and, you know, next question, keep answering it, sometimes rambling on about whatever. But yeah, perfect advice.
No, it's like, all right, wait, let me just stop you. Let me ask you, why should I want to work here for you?
I mean,
not quite like that.
You can ask around those words.
How big will the bonuses be?
So will I start off with, how much time off would I get when I first start?
Will there be room in my office? Was there room in my office for this couch? I have one in my old office. I was really hoping to bring it.
To be fair, that couch that's in your office right now is pretty kicking rad.
And will I get in trouble if I play Hearthstone on it?
The only reason it's in my office is because my wife was going to throw it away, and so I took it to work. And now it lives there. But anyways.
Good reason.
Well, thank you all. I appreciate it. Wiser words were never spoken, and you heard that on
More to be Wild